Brother, sister, open your heart. This Holy Week cannot be just another week. It can't pass you by like just another page on the calendar, unnoticed and unimportant. It cannot be just a religious formality or a soulless tradition. Because this week, the holiest of all, is a personal invitation that Christ Himself gives you, to walk with Him, to see with your own eyes what His sacrifice meant, His love taken to the extreme, His struggle, His blood, His silence, His victory. And this is not about being a spectator. It's about entering in, diving deep, living it from within. And on this journey, there is a key you cannot let go of, the Rosary. Let me speak plainly, no sugarcoating. This week is alive. It's not just a memory. It's a living experience, a present moment where the mysteries that saved us are made real again. Palm Sunday calls you to welcome Jesus as King, but not a king of earthly power. He is the King who enters riding a donkey, humble, coming to conquer your soul, not to impose His authority. The crowd shouted praises, but you know how the human heart is. Today it cries, Hosanna. Tomorrow it screams, crucify Him. And you, where are you in that crowd? Then comes the Paschal Triduum, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 3 days that are the very core of everything. On Holy Thursday, Jesus kneels before you to wash your feet. He teaches you that love isn't just a nice feeling. It's humble, sacrificial service. He gives you the Eucharist, His body, His blood, His real presence. Good Friday isn't symbolic. It's the day love was crucified. And not by mistake, not out of weakness, but by choice. Jesus takes your sins, your guilt, your wounds upon Himself, and He doesn't come down from the cross. He endures until the very last breath. For you. Do you truly believe that? Or has your heart grown cold? Holy Saturday is uncomfortable. Silence. Absence. Waiting. It's the day of naked faith, when nothing is seen but everything is believed. It's the day when Mary keeps believing, even though she no longer understands. And Easter Sunday finally breaks the cycle of death. The tomb is empty. Christ is risen. And you? Are you rising with Him, or are you still buried in your fears, your grudges, your routines? This week is meant for dying with Him, and rising to life again with Him. Don't miss it. So now I ask you, how do you accompany Him on this journey? How do you stay focused, not distracted by noise, duties, or superficial things? This is where the Rosary comes in. Not as a repetitive routine, not as just another pious obligation, but as a weapon and a lighthouse. The Rosary is not just a prayer, it's a contemplation. It's looking at the life of Christ through the eyes and heart of Mary. It's walking step by step through the mysteries of the Gospel with the one who knew Him best. And that has power. When you take the Rosary in your hands, you're not just playing with beads. You're grabbing onto a cord of grace that connects you to heaven. It's as if Mary herself were saying to you, "Come, walk with me. I'll show you my Son. I'll teach you how to look at Him, how to listen to Him, how to love Him, how to follow Him." And during Holy Week, that is urgent. Pope Francis has spoken clearly about this many times. He doesn't speak of the Rosary as just a popular devotion. He speaks of it as a spiritual shield, as a chain of love that binds us to Christ, as a concrete path to inner prayer. Listen to what he said. "The Rosary is the prayer that always accompanies my life. It is also the prayer of the simple and of the saints. It is the prayer of my heart. Do you see? It's not just for the very religious or for the elderly. It's for everyone. It's for you." In another moment, the Pope spoke strongly. The Rosary is a weapon that protects us from the evils of the soul and body. Do not be afraid to take it up every day. He calls it a weapon because he knows we're in a spiritual battle. Not against people, but against evil, confusion, despair, and sin. And if you're careless, if you grow cold, if you isolate yourself, you grow weak. But with the Rosary, you are not alone. You are in Mary's company. You are armed. You are protected. If you've truly decided to live this Holy Week from the heart, then the first step is clear and firm. Pray the Rosary every day. Don't postpone it. Don't replace it. Don't leave it for when you have time. Because if you don't have time to pray, then what's the point of everything else? What good is it to attend Mass, watch the processions, fast, if your soul is empty and unfocused? It's not about doing more things. It's about doing the essential things deeply. And the essential thing is prayer. And when you pray the Rosary with your heart, it draws you straight into the soul of Holy Week. Each day of this Holy Week carries a unique richness, a deep mystery you can live from within if you unite yourself through the Rosary. It's not about repeating words for the sake of repetition. It's about reliving the most sacred moments in history with Mary, and making them your own. It's like stepping into the story, but from the heart. Pope Francis once said, "The Rosary is a compendium of the Gospel." And you know it. If you don't meditate on the Gospel, if you're not immersed in what Jesus lived, how can you truly follow him? Listen closely. This week, the Rosary isn't optional. It's necessary. Each day has its mysteries. Pray the Rosary following the spiritual rhythm of the Gospel, and you'll see how your inner world finds order, how your spirit strengthens, how your perspective changes. Here's a path to follow. Monday and Saturday. Joyful Mysteries. Begin with the joyful mysteries. The Annunciation, the Visitation, the Nativity, the Presentation in the Temple, the Finding of the Child Jesus. See them as preparation. How did Mary live that time of waiting? How did she respond? With faith, with silence, with surrender. That's the same attitude you need to start this week. Tuesday and Friday. Sorrowful Mysteries. Now you're entering the very heart of the Passion. The agony in the garden, the scourging, the crowning with thorns, Jesus carrying the cross, the crucifixion. These are the most intense days. You can't just rush through these mysteries. You need to pause, close your eyes, and truly see Jesus bleeding for you. Ask yourself, am I willing to accompany him in his suffering? Or do I only seek him when it's convenient for me? Wednesday and Sunday. Glorious Mysteries. Holy Wednesday is a day when evil seems to work in secret. Judas has already made his decision. But you anchor yourself in the hope of the resurrection. And on Sunday, when everything explodes into new life, the glorious mysteries help you see that nothing ended at the cross. The resurrection, the ascension, Pentecost, the Assumption of Mary, her coronation. What are these mysteries saying to you today? Are you walking toward that glory? Holy Thursday, Luminous Mysteries. On this day you can't skip meditating on the baptism of the Lord, the wedding at Cana, the proclamation of the kingdom, the transfiguration, and above all, the institution of the Eucharist. Holy Thursday is the day of the most concrete love. Jesus remains with us in the bread, in the wine, on the altar. He becomes small, he becomes food. And if you don't live that mystery, if you don't meditate on it, your heart will remain empty, even if you receive communion. And you know what else? Praying the Rosary doesn't require technology. You don't need data, you don't need signal. You can do it at home, at church, while walking, in silence, even when you're exhausted. Mary adapts to your pace if you give her your heart. But you need to make a decision, and stick with it. Every day. No excuses. Because every day of Holy Week is a battle. And if you're not in prayer, you're exposed. You're vulnerable. You're at the mercy of noise, of sin, of lukewarmness. Look, Pope Francis has emphasized daily prayer as a spiritual discipline. He's said it plainly. There is no Christian without prayer. And if you're Catholic, if you love Christ, if you say you follow him, then pray as he prayed. And if you don't know how, if you struggle, if you're distracted, Mary gives you the Rosary as a guide. It's like a rope pulling you out of the pit of distraction and into the heart of the mystery. Don't forget, the enemy doesn't need you to stop believing. It's enough for you to stop praying. Because when you stop praying, your faith grows cold. And when your faith grows cold, your life dims. So take the Rosary. Every day. Even if you're tired. Even if you don't feel like it, even if you don't understand everything, pray. And each day of this Holy Week will become fertile ground where God can plant something new in you. Now that you understand the value of praying the Rosary every day during Holy Week, I want to take you one step further. Because authentic prayer never stays locked inside yourself. And here comes the second teaching that Pope Francis has emphasized. Pray the Rosary not just for yourself, but for others. Make your Rosary a living offering for the world, for those who suffer, for those far from God. This is no small thing. It's essential. Because what good is a devotion if it doesn't make you more compassionate? What's the point of speaking with God if your heart stays closed to the pain of others? Look, brother, sister, we live in a world that is deeply wounded. There are wars, injustices, loneliness, violence, despair. There are broken families, lost young people, abandoned elderly, children with no future. And what do you do with all that? Do you complain? Do you criticize? Or do you kneel and offer it in prayer? Pope Francis has often said that prayer cannot be selfish. Christian prayer is intercession. It's looking at others with the heart of God and bringing them before Him. And the Rosary, when prayed with that intention, becomes a powerful force that crosses borders, that reaches places you could never physically go. It's like casting light into the darkness. This Holy Week, when you take the Rosary in your hands, put names into your prayer. Don't pray in the abstract. Don't just say, for the world, or for those in need, without thinking of anyone specific. Think of those you know, and those you don't. Include that family member far from the faith, the friend battling depression, the neighbor living in loneliness. Pray for doctors, for prisoners, for those caught in war, for those who don't know Christ, for those dying with no one to pray for them. Every Hail Mary can be a drop of comfort into someone else's wound. And if you are wounded, if you're carrying a cross of your own, then pray also for those carrying heavier ones than yours. That changes your soul. Because when you pray for others, your own pain transforms. And here lies one of the greatest spiritual truths Pope Francis has taught us. Prayer for others is balm for your own wounds. This isn't poetry. It's real. Try it and you'll see. There's also a beautiful detail I don't want you to miss. When you pray the Rosary for someone, you're not doing it alone. Mary is with you. She is the first intercessor. And when you say, Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us, she takes it seriously. She does pray. She acts. She moves. And you know what? The devil can't stand that. He can't stand a Christian who prays for others, because he knows that kind of love is dynamite against selfishness. And selfishness is his territory. This Holy Week, if you want to live it as God wants, make every Rosary an offering of concrete love. Don't just focus on your own pain, your own struggles, your own sins. Look around you. Look beyond yourself. Pray for the Church. Pray for the Pope. Pray for priests. Pray for those in mortal sin. Pray for those who don't pray. Mary needs instruments. You can be one. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. The Pope has reminded us many times that prayer is the breath of the soul. But he has also said something even deeper. Prayer that doesn't open itself to others, that doesn't intercede, becomes sterile. Don't let your Rosary be sterile. Make it fruitful. Make it life-giving. Give it names. Give it intention. Offer it for those no one remembers, for those who have no voice. Heaven listens. Mary listens. And God acts. Remember something essential. When you pray the Rosary for others, you're loving in action, not just in words. You're helping carry their crosses. You're turning your time into salvation. You're uniting your voice with that of the universal Church. You have no idea how much grace can be unleashed through a prayer offered in love. You can't always see it. You can't always touch it. But believe it. Because that's how the kingdom works. Invisible, but real. So now you know. Don't treat the Rosary as something private and personal only. This Holy Week, take the Rosary as a bridge of love between you and the world. Make it an altar. Make it an offering. Make it intercession. And you'll see how your heart expands, how your soul stretches, how you begin to see the pain of others, not as a burden, but as your mission. Let me speak to you frankly. Praying the Rosary can be one of the most transformative things in your life, but it can also become an empty act if you're not guarding your heart. And here is Pope Francis' third warning. Don't pray the Rosary like a machine, like a parrot repeating words without knowing what it's saying. Pray with your soul. Pray with meaning. Pray with your heart. He's been very clear about this. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. It doesn't matter if you pray one mystery or all 5. It doesn't matter if it takes 20 minutes or an hour. What matters is how you pray. Because if your mind is distracted, if your lips are just repeating without thinking, if your heart is far away, then, even if you say 100 Hail Marys, you're not really praying. You're just reciting. And God doesn't need empty repetition. He wants real encounters with you. And you need them too. Do you know why the Pope insists on this? Because he sees how many faithful have fallen into routine. They grab the Rosary like a good luck charm, rush through it before bed, or use it just to check the box. But that doesn't transform. That doesn't connect. That doesn't ignite love. And what you need this Holy Week isn't to get your prayer done. It's to fall in love with Jesus again through the heart of Mary. Think about it this way. Every Hail Mary is like a step. Where are you going with those steps? You're walking toward Christ. You're journeying through His life. You're walking with Him through joy, light, sorrow, and glory. But if you're not paying attention to those steps, if you don't know where you're going, could it be that you're walking in circles? Could it be that you're getting lost even though it looks like you're praying? When the Pope says, pray with your heart, he's telling you, make the Rosary a living meditation. See each mystery as if you were there. If you're praying the sorrowful mysteries, imagine the sweat of blood in Gethsemane, the whip tearing his flesh, the crown of thorns pressing into his head. Don't picture it like some distant movie. See it as if Jesus is suffering right now, for you. If you're in the glorious mysteries, feel that joy, that hope. You're not praying something old. You're entering into something eternal, something that becomes real every time you meditate on it. And don't be afraid to pause. If one mystery touches you deeply, if a single word stirs something inside you, stop. Stay there. Reflect. You don't need to rush. You're not in a race. You're in a deep conversation. Mary is not in a hurry. She walks with you step by step. And if you let her guide you, you'll discover that the Rosary is not boring, not long, not repetitive. It's a school of love, a school of silence, a school of faith and pure vision. The Pope has said it clearly. Prayer is not a magic formula, but a dialogue with God. And you are called to enter into that dialogue. You don't need to be a theologian or a canonized saint. You just need the desire to pray well. You just need to quiet your soul, lower the volume of the world for a while, and let those words, Hail Mary, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus, really enter in. Because if they enter, they transform. And listen closely to this. The Rosary prayed with the heart is a hammer against evil. Not because the words have power in themselves, but because when you pray with faith, with humility, with love, you are inviting the presence of God. You're opening spiritual doors. You're cleansing your soul. And that is dynamite to the enemy. The devil isn't afraid of a distracted Catholic. He fears the one who prays with fire in their soul. The one who takes their words seriously. The one who won't compromise their relationship with God. That's why this Holy Week, when you pray your Rosary, do it slowly. Do it with awareness. Do it with intention. Don't worry if it's hard to focus at first. Don't get discouraged if your mind wanders. What matters is that you fight to pray better. God sees that fight. Mary walks with you in it. And in time, your Rosary will become a refuge, an inner altar, a heavenly embrace. Now that you know you should pray the Rosary every day, offer it for others, and pray it with your heart, it's time to understand something crucial. The Rosary is not just a prayer, it's a shield, a real protection, an invisible yet powerful barrier against the evil that threatens your soul. Yes, evil exists. It's not a metaphor. And this Holy Week, more than ever, is a battleground. There is a spiritual war happening around you, and within you. You cannot live these sacred days superficially. You can't enter into Christ's passion without realizing that the enemy is also at work, trying to confuse you, distract you, pull you away from the heart of Jesus. That's why Pope Francis has so often insisted that the Rosary is a powerful weapon. He doesn't say this as a pious ornament. He says it with pastoral and spiritual conviction. The Rosary protects your mind, your heart, your home, your decisions. Not magically, but because it keeps you united to Mary. And where Mary is, the enemy cannot remain. Every Hail Mary is a stone hurled against the darkness. Every mystery is a shield that covers your day, your steps, your intentions. There are many faithful who carry a rosary in their pocket as a symbol. That's fine. But the power of the Rosary doesn't lie in carrying it. It lies in using it, in praying it, in trusting it. When you pray the Rosary each day of Holy Week, with faith and intention, it purifies your soul, strengthens your will, and protects you from the subtle temptations the world throws at you. Now more than ever, you need to stand firm, with your soul anchored in heaven. Because sin doesn't always come with scandal. Often it comes disguised as distraction, weariness, or lukewarmness. And that's where the Rosary wakes you up, centers you, puts you on guard. And do you know why it works? Because you don't pray it alone. You pray it with Mary. She is present. She intercedes. She crushes the head of the serpent. That's not a myth. That's a promise. And if you take the Rosary seriously, you are placing yourself under her mantle. You're saying, "Mother, protect me. Mother, walk with me. Mother, defend me." And she does. She's done it for centuries. She's done it in battles, in persecutions, in prisons, in hospitals, in quiet rooms. She can do it for you this Holy Week, if you open your heart to her. Pope Francis summed it up like this: "The Rosary is the prayer that always accompanies my life. It is also the prayer of the simple and the saints." You don't need to understand everything to pray. You just need to trust, to let yourself be led, and to know that when you pray with your soul, something begins to change inside you, even if you don't see it right away. The protection isn't just against external threats, it's also against the rot that grows within. Selfishness, pride, despair, envy, fear. All of that breaks apart when you dive into the Rosary with sincerity. So this Holy Week, don't lower your guard. Don't stay on the surface. Don't live as a spectator. Fight the good fight of faith, with the Rosary in your hand and Mary in your heart.